Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm excited to introduce our presentation on CIRCLES. Today, we'll explore the fascinating world of circles, their properties and applications. We'll cover basic concepts, some interesting examples, and practical uses. So, let's get started and dive into the captivating topic of circles. Let's take a closer look at the contents of this slide. Here, we have several key theorems that we'll be exploring in this chapter. The first one, which is about bisecting chords, states that if you draw a line through the center of a circle to bisect a chord, that line is actually perpendicular to the chord. This is a fundamental property that helps us understand the symmetry within circles. Next, we have the theorem about angles subtended by an arc. It tells us that the angle made at the center of the circle by an arc is actually twice the angle made at any point on the remaining part of the circle. This relationship is crucial for solving many problems involving angles in circles. The third point discusses equal chords. It says that if two chords are equal in length within a circle, then they will subtend equal angles at the center. This ties the concepts of chord length and central angles together, emphasizing their connection. Moving on, the fourth point states that equal chords, whether in the same circle or in congruent circles, are at equal distances from the center or centers. This highlights the idea of symmetry and how the position of chords relates to their length. Finally, we have the theorem about angles in the same segment of a circle. It asserts that angles subtended by the same arc in the same segment are equal, which simplifies many angle calculations within a circle. Overall, these points build a comprehensive understanding of the relationships between chords, angles, and distances in circles, forming the foundation for more complex theorems. Good morning, everyone. I would like to start by expressing my sincere thanks to my teacher, Mrs. Rama Gupta. I am truly grateful for the opportunity she provided me to work on this presentation. This experience has significantly expanded my understanding of circles. Working on this topic has not only deepened my knowledge, but also helped me appreciate the beauty and importance of circles in geometry and everyday life. I hope you find this presentation informative and engaging as I share what I've learned. Let's look at what we need to prove here. We want to show that if two chords in a circle are equal, then the angles they subtend at the center are also equal. So imagine we have two equal chords, AB and CD, both inside the same circle with center O. Our goal is to prove that the angles AOB and COD are equal. To do this, we'll consider triangles AOB and COD. Now, since we're dealing with a circle, the radii are equal, so OA equals OC and AB equals OD. This is because all radii in a circle are the same length. And of course, we're given that the chords AB and CD are equal in length. Putting all this together, we see that the three sides of triangle AOB are equal to the three sides of triangle COD. OA equals OC, AB equals OD, and AB equals CD. This means, by the side-side-side rule, the two triangles are congruent. And as a result, their corresponding angles are also equal, which gives us that AOB is equal to COD. This proof beautifully ties together the properties of circles, triangles, and congruence to establish this key geometric fact. Let's look at the statement we are trying to prove here. It says that the line drawn through the center of a circle to bisect a chord is perpendicular to that chord. To understand why this is true, we'll walk through the proof step by step. First, consider a circle with a chord AB. The center of the circle is O, and M is the midpoint of AB. Our goal is to show that the line OM, which connects the center to this midpoint, is perpendicular to the chord AB. To do this, we draw two additional lines, OA and AB, which are the radii connecting the center to the endpoints of the chord. Now, look at the two triangles formed, triangle OAM and triangle OBM. In these triangles, we observe several key facts. First, OA equals AB because they are both radii of the same circle. Second, AM equals BM because M is the midpoint of AB. And third, OM is common to both triangles. Since these three pairs of sides are equal, we can conclude that triangles OAM and OBM are congruent by the side-side-side, or SSS, criterion. From this congruence, it follows that the angles at M, specifically OMA and OM, are equal. Because these angles are equal and they form a right angle, we find that OM must be perpendicular to OB. This proof beautifully demonstrates how the properties of circles and triangles come together to establish the perpendicularity of the line through the center bisecting a chord. It's a fundamental concept that helps us understand the symmetry and geometric relationships within a circle. Let's walk through this proof together. The goal here is to show that equal chords in a circle, or in congruent circles, are always positioned at the same distance from the center or centers. First, imagine you have a circle with any radius you like. Now, draw two chords inside this circle. Let's call them OB and CD. These chords are equal in length, which is an important point. Next, from the center of the circle, labeled O, draw perpendicular lines to these chords. These perpendiculars meet the chords at points M and N, respectively. So OM is perpendicular to OB, and ON is perpendicular to CD. Here's a clever part. If we imagine dividing the figure so that point D coincides with B and C coincides with A, the figure becomes symmetrical along a crease line. Because of this symmetry, the point O, which is the center, must lie on this crease, and points N and M, where the perpendiculars meet the chords, also align in a specific way. From this setup, we observe that the distances OM and ON are equal. This tells us that equal chords are equidistant from the center of the circle, which confirms our initial statement. This proof beautifully connects the concepts of equal chords, perpendicular distances from the center, and symmetry within the circle. It reinforces the idea that in circle geometry, equal chords always maintain the same distance from the center, a key property that supports many other theorems and problem-solving strategies. Let's explore the proof that the angle subtended by an arc at the center of a circle is twice the angle subtended at any point on the remaining part of the circle. We start by considering an arc PQ of a circle, which subtends an angle POQ at the center O, and an angle PAQ at a point A on the remaining part of the circle. Now, we will analyze three different cases based on the size of arc PQ. First, suppose arc PQ is minor, as shown in Fig 1. To understand the relationship, we join AO and extend it to a point B in all cases. We observe that the exterior angle BOQ of triangle OAQ equals the sum of the interior opposite angles OAQ and AQO. This is a key property of triangles. An exterior angle equals the sum of the two opposite interior angles. Next, notice that since OA and OQ are both radii of the circle, they are equal, so triangle OAQ is isosceles. This means that OAQ equals OQA. Using this, we deduce that BOQ equals twice OAQ, which is a crucial step in our proof. Similarly, we find that BOP equals twice OAP. Combining these results, we see that the sum of angles BOP and BOQ equals twice the sum of OAP and OAQ. When the arc PQ is a semicircle, as shown in Fig 2, this leads us to the simple relation that the central angle POQ equals twice the inscribed angle PAQ. For the case where arc PQ is a major arc, as shown in Fig 3, this relation still holds, but we consider the reflex angle at the center, which is still twice the inscribed angle. In summary, whether the arc is minor, semicircular, or major, the key idea is that the angle at the center is always double the angle at any point on the remaining part of the circle, confirming the theorem across all cases. Let's now look at how to prove that angles in the same segment of a circle are equal. According to Theorem 6, we know that the angle PAC is half of the angle POC. Since POC measures 180 degrees, this means PAC is 90 degrees. If we pick any other point C somewhere on the semicircle, the same reasoning applies, and we find that PCQ is also 90 degrees. This shows that any angle formed in the same segment, by points on the circle, are equal because they are both right angles in this case. Now, if we join points P and Q to form the chord PQ, we can think of PAC as the angle in the segment PAQP. Remember, it can be any point on the remaining part of the circle, not just a specific spot. So when we choose any other point C on that part, the relationship holds. The measure of POC is twice PCQ and also twice PAC. This leads us to the key conclusion. PCQ equals PAC. It's a beautiful demonstration of how angles in the same segment of a circle are equal, tying together the entire theme of circle geometry and symmetry.